wow. Just, wow. I don't know what to say. I really don't. Hey, what's up, you guys? FilmFan0599 here again, and today we're going to review The Shape of Water. So, The Shape of Water stars Sally Hawkins, Doug Jones, Octavia Spencer, Richard Jenkins, and Michael Shannon. And what this film is basically about, it's about this woman who is unfortunately mute. She's not deaf; she can still hear, but she can't speak. And her and her friend, they work at this facility. They clean up there, and one day, the government brings in this thing, this like amphibian creature, and Sally Hawkins' character starts to build a kind of a relationship with this amphibious creature, and we basically see their bond throughout the film. So, what did I think of The Shape of Water? Now, going into The Shape of Water, I was very excited for it. I love Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro is one of my favorite directors of all time. Literally in my top 10. I have loved almost every single thing this guy has done, from Blade 2 to both the Hellboy movies, to Pan's Labyrinth, to Pacific Rim. I've enjoyed most of this guy's work. He is a phenomenal director. He really is. I love a lot of his movies, and this seemed like it could be a really good movie. I was hoping that this movie would be really good, because it did seem intriguing by the trailers. This woman starts building a relationship with like this amphibious creature thing. It did seem intriguing, and it did seem like what a lot of people have been saying. It seemed like a much more adult version of Beauty and the Beast. That's what it basically seemed like to me. And, I was hoping for a good movie, and plus the movie's getting tons of award recognition right now, so that got me even more excited for the movie. I was like, oh, so this movie is like, gotta be like something special, hopefully, right? So, and, I saw the movie, and, yeah, this movie better win the Oscar. This better, because this movie is honestly probably the most beautiful / greatest love story I think I've ever seen put to film. And it's a movie about a fish and a woman falling in love. Yet, I was so emotionally invested in it, and just so wrapped up with their relationship. And I will say this also, I have to point this out, I'm not the hugest fan of romance movies. Romance movies are my least favorite genre of film, because they just follow the same old tropes. They don't really impress me all that much. I think a lot of the dialogue is cheesy with those movies. Just, they're not that great of films to me. But there are ones that I do like. And the fact that Guillermo del Toro made me care about a relationship, about a fish and a woman, to the point where I was in tears about it, dead serious, more than I would ever about a man or a woman in a relationship in any romance movie, is something special, and something truly incredible, honestly. This movie is a work of art. Honestly, like, this movie is phenomenal. I was absolutely speechless after watching this movie. This is something incredible. This is, wow, I can't even, like, it's one of those movies that just leaves your breath away. And I just couldn't believe how amazing this movie was. Seriously, it's such a beautiful movie, and I loved every minute of it. I didn't want it to end, actually. I just was like, I'm so wrapped up in this story that I don't want it to end. And it's so amazing. But let's get into why it's so amazing to me. Let's get into that now, and let's talk about the positives with the film. And the positives are, first being the acting. The acting is really fantastic in this movie. Everyone is on top of their game in this movie. Everyone gives such an incredible performance in this movie. Sally Hawkins, who is amazing in this movie. Now, like I said, her character is mute. She can't speak a single word, but wow, her performance is so incredible. You know, she doesn't speak once in the movie, but just the way that, like, her movements and her emotions, like her emotional, physical performance, is just something great. Honestly, it's amazing. Like, I love her in this movie. She was fantastic, and I thought nothing could beat Saoirse Ronan for like the best actress of the year, but Sally Hawkins did it in spades. This is one of the best performances I think I've ever seen. She is amazing. I absolutely loved her in this movie. She gives such a commanding performance, and just the most impressive thing about it is that her character doesn't speak at all during the movie, yet it's such a commanding performance in the film. And she is so amazing. I absolutely loved her in this movie. Same goes with Doug Jones. Doug Jones is the same way. Doesn't speak a single word in this movie, yet his physical performance is so commanding and it's so amazing. And you care about this amphibian creature because of how great his performance is. Like, I really do truly think he gives such a fantastic performance in the film. Richard Jenkins, who was great as the supporting role, honestly. Like, I loved him. I loved his interactions with him and Sally Hawkins. They were great together. Like, I love their interactions with each other as well. You know, that was great to watch as well. And there's some things that, you know, about Richard Jenkins' character that I didn't see coming. Like, I was like, oh. And you make him, and you really feel for his character as well, because you're like, oh man, that sucks. Like, you know, and it's great. Like, I really loved Richard Jenkins in this movie. You know, he is fantastic. I loved him. I loved his character. He gave such a great performance in the film. Octavia Spencer was fantastic too. I enjoyed her in the movie. She was great. You know, I loved her interaction with Sally Hawkins as well. Like, when they interact with each other, they're fantastic. So, yeah, I loved Octavia Spencer in this movie. She was great. And Michael Shannon is fantastic too. This is definitely one of his best performances as well. He's basically the antagonist of the movie, and he was great. I really enjoyed him in the film. He was fantastic. And so overall, I think the acting is truly phenomenal. This is one of the best acted films I've ever seen in my life. The acting is truly amazing in this movie. I love the overarching theme of this movie. I know reviews have brought this up, but the overarching theme of feeling incomplete is actually well done here. You know, because every character in this movie feels incomplete in their own way. You know, like they really do. Like Sally Hawkins' character feels incomplete in a way. Richard Jenkins, Octavia Spencer, even Michael Shannon's character feels incomplete in something. So I really liked that overarching theme of incompletion in this movie, and they do a great job with that in the film. I really like how they handle that theme of just feeling incomplete, and the way that they handle it in this movie is actually really fantastic. The romance, that's, you know, kind of the main thing about this movie, is the whole romance between the, you know, the amphibious creature, or the fish if you will, and the woman. And like I said, this is probably the best romance I think I've ever seen put to film, honestly. Like, it's just the way that it's handled in this movie, because these two characters, because what I love is that, you know, because the fish doesn't see Sally Hawkins as like a freak, because she can't speak, you know. You know, the fish doesn't know that. He just, you know, because he doesn't know that she's doing sign language and whatever, and that's what I love, is that these two are so alike with each other. And, you know, like, what I mean, even though they're totally two different things, one's a fish and one's, you know, a human being, they're both the same person in a way. Like, the way that they communicate with each other, it's fantastic. Like, I loved it. And just seeing these two interact with each other was amazing. Like, every time these characters would interact with each other, I was just glued to the screen because of how amazing the relationship was. Like, it was quite beautiful to watch on screen. It really was. Like, I thought their relationship was so beautiful and so incredible, honestly. You know, and just brought a smile to my face, honestly, while watching it. Like, just the way that Guillermo del Toro handles that in this movie. It doesn't feel like a typical romance movie, and that's what I like about this. This does not feel like your, oh, like, Lifetime romance movie 101. No, it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like just a genuine, like, you feel genuine with these characters. It doesn't feel forced, or, it doesn't feel like, oh, because it's in the script, we need them to fall in love. No, it's like, it feels genuine. And the way that they handle it and the way that they build it is great. And, once some certain things happen, and of course I don't want to spoil it, you care. And you really feel for the both of them. And just seeing their relationship with each other was quite beautiful, and one of the best things I think I've ever seen in a film, honestly. I loved seeing their relationship with each other. It was quite amazing. And I do think a lot of the characters, like I said before, a lot of the characters do have some great chemistry with each other. Like I said, Sally Hawkins really has great chemistry with, like, all of her, like, supporting roles, like, with Doug Jones, like I mentioned before, or Richard Jenkins. Like, I really, besides the romance element, I loved seeing the two of them together. That was fantastic, too. Just seeing them two interact with each other was so fantastic. I love that about the movie. It was so, like, heartwarming. Like, just whenever they would interact with each other, it was great. Same goes with her and Octavia Spencer. Like, you feel like she's friends with these people. It's not like, oh, we just met on the movie set and then that's it. No, you feel like Sally Hawkins has been friends with the both of these people for, like, the whole life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so fantastic. I really like that a lot. This movie can get really dark. It can, at points, get really dark, but it works. Honestly, I do think it fits with the overall tone of the movie. And I did like, those parts where it did get dark, because it did work for me, honestly, because it does get pretty violent, actually, at points in the movie, but it's not the main focus of the film. But, I did think whenever the movie did get dark a bit, it actually worked. I really liked that, how it was, like, implemented into the story and whatever. So, yeah. The writing is fantastic as well. I really thought this movie, the way it was written, it was fantastic. The dialogue is incredible. Like, really, the dialogue is quite fantastic with this movie. And just the overall, just how they handle the story, honestly, is quite amazing. Like, really, seriously, like I say, it does not feel like a typical romance movie. Seriously, I really don't feel like they make it out as like, oh, we gotta make this the typical romance movie. No, they make it feel different, and kind of just unique and different in its own way. And that's what I really like about this movie. And I just thought the writing was absolutely phenomenal with this film. And the directing is amazing. I love the directing with this movie. Like I said, this movie is directed by Guillermo del Toro, who is, like I said, one of my favorite directors of all time. This dude has an imagination like no other, honestly. Like, the things that this dude can come up with and just bring onto screen is phenomenal. And he did say that this was the best film he has ever created and the one he's most proud of. And when directors say that, sometimes I'm like, how can you beat that movie? Like, insert that, his best movie there. And I believe him 100%. This is his best movie. This is his magnum opus. Like, this is, like, his crown jewel right here. And he does such a phenomenal job directing the film. It's so well shot. It's so well edited. The cinematography. Oh, the cinematography is beautiful with this movie. It is so amazing. I love the cinematography with this film. Just the way Guillermo del Toro handles the directing with this movie, it's so fantastic. I just love how he directs this film. It's so amazing and so beautiful. He literally brings art onto screen, and he does it in spades, honestly. He does such a phenomenal job directing this film. Give him the Oscar. The visual effects and just the production in general. When it comes to production design, makeup, visual effects, it's all amazing. Seriously, the production design is the best I've seen all year. The atmosphere with this, you know, how it looks in the 60s and whatever is fantastic. I love the feel of that, and it just, the atmosphere is great. You know, the production design is amazing. The makeup is incredible. Of course, Doug Jones has to get in like to a bodysuit and, you know, with makeup and stuff like that, and it looks amazing. I really love that a lot with this movie. The makeup is fantastic. It really makes me believe that, you know, that is a creature brought to life. Like, I really like that a lot about with this movie, and the visual effects are amazing. I love the visual effects with The Shape of Water. They are fantastic. And the movie, you know, moves at actually a really nice pace. The movie's only 2 hours and 3 minutes. Yeah, it didn't feel like that at all. This movie moves at such a nice, natural pace that I felt like it flew by, honestly. Like, it really did. Like, not like it was rushing or anything, but it just moved at such a nice, natural pace that I did not feel bored once during this movie. I did not feel bored at all during this movie, honestly. Like, I was so invested into this story about this relationship and whatever that I was like, no way, there's never a time I was bored. I was so invested in this movie 100%. And the last thing I want to talk about is the ending. Now, I'm not going to get into spoilers and whatever, because this is a movie I want everyone to experience. This is a movie you have to experience. So, I'll just say this. The ending was beautiful. It literally moved me to tears, and I was like, that was one of the most beautiful things I think I've ever seen, ever, honestly. Like, wow, I'm actually, like, getting teared up, like, just talking about it. Like, wow, like, that ending was, like, that powerful. Seriously, the ending with this movie is, like, has to be one of the best endings I think I've ever seen in my life. The way that this movie just wraps up everything with the relationship, and just the way that this movie wraps up is so beautiful. Like, it really is. Like, it was like a work of art, and I was just left speechless. When the credits rolled, I couldn't talk. Like, I was like, that was amazing. Wow. Seriously, that was phenomenal in every sense of the word. And just that ending just set it all off. That just, it ended on such a perfect note for me. Wow. The Shape of Water is something truly fantastic. This movie should win every award that's up for it. It really should. This better win Best Picture. Listen, this is the movie that better win Best Picture, because this is something special. This is something amazing. I cannot believe that the movie was like this fantastic. Like, I figured it would be a good movie because, you know, Guillermo del Toro is a fantastic director, but wow, I was just blown away. This is something for the ages, honestly. This is a movie that I feel like should be talked about for years to come. This is the greatest romance movie I think I've ever seen in my life. It is truly fantastic. Honestly, like, it's such a beautiful movie. It really is. And this is a movie I think everyone should see. If you haven't seen it, go out and see it. It deserves your support, and it's phenomenal. It really is. It is a masterpiece upon cinema. I loved The Shape of Water. A+. Don't need to do no build-up. A+. This movie is incredible. I loved every minute of it. And honestly, it was to the point where I didn't want to end. But yet the ending was so satisfying. It's so amazing. Seriously, this movie is a work of art and something truly beautiful. So yeah, Shape of Water easily deserves an A+. So if you have seen The Shape of Water, what did you think of it? Leave in the comment section below. Dumb Film Fan 0599, and we will see you all later. Peace.